Wojak's midnight triumph, the quest for the perfect remote. The evening had arrived, and as the last echoes of the day faded, a familiar drowsiness began to settle over me. I climbed into bed, pulling the covers up, my mind a quiet hum of the day's trivialities. But tonight, sleep would not bring the usual internal debates or petty grievances. Tonight, sleep would bring adventure. The world shifted. The soft darkness of my bedroom dissolved into a swirling vortex of vibrant colors, then solidified into a landscape unlike any I had ever seen. Towering, asymmetrical buildings stretched towards the sky filled with 3 moons. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy. I stood on a precipice, a long, flowing cape, surprisingly comfortable, billowing behind me. My usual crumpled shirt and existential dread were nowhere to be found. Instead, I wore gleaming armor, not too heavy, but suitably impressive. My posture was straight. My chin was high. I felt confident. This was me. A voice, deep and resonant, boomed from the skies. Brave Wojak. The sacred remote has been stolen. Without it, the grand entertainment stream of Eldoria will cease. Chaos will reign. Memes will perish. My eyes narrowed. The sacred remote? Memes perishing? This was serious. Fear not, I declared, my voice echoing with a strength I never knew I possessed. I, Wojak, shall retrieve the sacred remote. Honestly, the sheer surge of heroism that can course through your veins when you're unshackled by the mundane. It's truly exhilarating. It's like being given permission to be your absolute best, most competent self, without having to worry about awkward small talk or crooked wall art. This was my quest. I leapt from the precipice, not falling, but soaring, my cape catching the wind like the wings of a magnificent, slightly bewildered eagle. Below me, a landscape unfolded, vast plains of iridescent fungi, rivers of shimmering, non-sticky slime, and mountains that looked suspiciously like giant, stacked pizza boxes. My path was clear. I needed to infiltrate the dreaded fortress of Mute. It was rumored to be guarded by creatures of immense distraction, beings who could force you to watch endless commercials, or worse, make you lose your place in a binge watch. But I was undeterred. I was Wojak. I was on a mission. I landed silently, a skill I definitely didn't possess in waking life, at the fortress gates. They were guarded by 2 hulking figures made entirely of buffering circles. Halt. They blared, their voices pixelating slightly. State your business. I am here for the sacred remote, I announced, my voice firm. And I will not be swayed by your temporal lag. The buffering circles began to spin faster, attempting to overload my senses with anxiety-inducing load times. But I simply smiled. I have faced the agony of the 99% charge, I stated, drawing a gleaming, ethereal sword from my belt. Your buffering cannot break me. With a flick of my wrist, the sword sliced through their digital forms, resolving them into perfect, instant connections. I strode through the fortress, my steps purposeful. I navigated mazes made of tangled charging cables, dodged booby traps of unsolicited online opinions, and even managed to politely sidestep a room filled with people arguing about grammar, without getting drawn into the debate. My confidence was unwavering. My focus was absolute. Finally, I reached the central chamber. There, on a pedestal of flickering screens, sat the sacred remote. Gleaming. Perfect. And guarding it, a towering, monstrous figure made of unopened junk mail. You cannot pass. The junk mail golem roared, its voice rustling with circulars and unwanted credit card offers. I shall bury you in unread solicitations. I smirked. I have seen the endless scroll of forgotten to-do lists, foul creature, I retorted, remembering the small victories from my waking life. Your paper-based tyranny holds no power over me. With a mighty leap, I cleared the stacks of junk mail, seized the sacred remote, and, with a powerful downward thrust, plunged my blade into the golem's heart, transforming it into a neatly sorted pile of recycling. The sacred remote felt cool and perfectly balanced in my hand. Its buttons glowed with an inner light. I had done it. I, Wojak, had saved Eldoria from endless commercials and meaningless despair. The world began to shimmer around me, the edges of the dream softening. I knew my adventure was coming to an end. But a profound sense of satisfaction, a confidence I rarely felt when awake, surged through me. I hadn't just saved a remote. I had proven something to myself. And as I, Wojak, slowly drifted awake that morning, the grandeur of Eldoria faded, replaced by the familiar quiet of my bedroom. But a lingering warmth remained. A subtle echo of competence. The world might still be full of petty annoyances and unexpected challenges, But for one glorious night, I had faced them all, sword in hand, and emerged triumphant. So, if you ever find yourself facing the day's mundane challenges, remember Wojak's midnight triumph. Remember that sometimes, the greatest adventures, and the deepest well of confidence, can be found within the boundless landscapes of your own dreams. Sleep now. And may your dreams be filled with improbable victories and perfectly working remotes.